my gosh. Wow. We're back. It's another week again. I love time travel because obviously you all know I record multiple of these episodes in a day, but I like to pretend it's a new week. It just makes me feel like time is going by faster, uh, which is fine with me. I'm not really trying to live in this moment. This moment is very stressful, very tiring, and I think I've had enough. We just survived Halloween. We're about to survive Thanksgiving, hopefully, some of us. But if we don't, that's fine too. Thanksgiving is tricky. The holidays are tricky in general for people, especially queer people, because girl, you got to go back and see those people and eat that food. And you got to deal with all the Thanksgiving, the Thanksgiving clapbacks where she's like, isn't that your third plate? And you're like, isn't that your third husband? You got to be ready. Arm yourself with the Thanksgiving clapbacks for when you go visit your small town, your little. Because I live in LA, and LA is a city full of people who are the prettiest, most talented people from their shitty towns. So they all come here. It's a thing. And I always go out and I see people. I'm like, so you're like you're like from Minnesota, and like you're the most beautiful person in your town, and you're gay. And somebody was like, you should move to LA to be an actor or something. And then you did. And honestly, good for you for getting out of there. I support, applause. I support getting out of that environment and getting into one where you feel safe and welcome, and maybe even an environment where you can continue to just have white friends with abs. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Anyway, this is your time to rate and review this podcast. Give me 5 stars and write something really nice, especially if you're like a muscular white gay from Minnesota who came here to be a model. Tell me what your experience is like in the review box. Always, you can call me at 424-431-1456 and leave me a voicemail. That number is going to be in the description. You can just click it or whatever. Anyway, I'm here with Allen Waiserman. Hi, Allen. Oh, wait.
Hi, hi, Jordan. This is why I love you. You have zero
Whoa.
filter.
No, I really don't. People I'm so scared, and I'm like, no. If I'm still employable and here, I think you'll be fine.
Yeah, listen, if you can't speak your mind, you shouldn't be in this profession. You should go back to Minnesota.
Yeah, go
Go
Minnesota.
back to Minnesota. From Minnesota.
Yes.
Um, oh my God. Yeah, I really relate to that. I'm an LA boy, always been here, born and raised. Um,
Wow.
and yeah, it always surprises people, and I'm always like, yeah, we got hospitals here too. People are
Yeah.
born here. But yeah, it always surprises people for some reason when they find out I am from LA. I think it's also because I am an actor, and so many people, kind of like you said, do come to LA specifically to follow their dreams and whatnot. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm always dealing with the bullshit here, and I don't know. It's funny you bring that up. I realized recently that the stereotype that people talk about a lot, like online and other places, about like, oh, those like snobby LA people and like, just the whole, that everyone's like
Mhm.
Kardashians and everything. I like slowly realized that it's not really the people who are like born and raised here. Like, we're kind of numb to seeing celebrities everywhere, or like,
Yeah.
even the ones that do want to be actors, we're kind of just living our lives, and you know, it's just regular everyday things to us. It's the people who come here, see how it's like on TikTok, on Instagram, and they have this like preconceived notion of like what it's like to be famous or being in LA, and then they're the ones that are kind of soiling it for everyone, I feel like sometimes, by being super snobby and just being, you know, um, trying to rise up in the world through just really shitty ways.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it do be like that sometimes, especially
I
the
don't like social
gays.
climbers. Yeah, I mean,
The
it's funny,
gays.
like with gays in particular, like the social climbing scene sometimes is a little, I'm like, girl, like society still like pits us against each other and pits us against the world, and we're already dealing with so much shit. It's like, why are we fighting against our own and being bullies to our own people? Like, it's just the irony kind of kills me sometimes. We got really deep right away. Damn.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it happens and sometimes it just doesn't. Sometimes I'll leave the podcast and be like, "Oh wait, I didn't ask them about to promote their big project they're working on," and they're just like, "Oh, all right, whatever, it's fine."
Well, Jordan, I think it's because you and I really like it really deep. That
Yeah,
is why.
if I
We
had a
said we'd be
dollar.
talking about holes. I had to steer it back to
Yeah,
holes. So
holes.
yeah.
Wait, so okay, I'm trying to remember. Did we meet at Beetle House or before that?
Yeah, we met at Beetle House when you were Frankenfurter,
Yeah,
right?
that was the only thing I
Yeah.
ever did there. I was Frankenfurter.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm no longer at Beetle House
Me
either now.
either.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
didn't have
fuck
us
that.
back when they moved to that new location. What the
They
fuck?
had me back last year. But after Lyle was let go from there in a
Exiled.
very literally exiled in a really shitty way. I mean, like, listen, I love my memories there. I'm grateful for the platform and the opportunities I had there, and a lot of the great performers there.
Yeah.
But it was not managed correctly. I hope it changes. I wish them well. Um, but particularly, especially even this season, they were just like not appreciating who I am as a performer. There was just a lot of bullshit that like popped up. They were like, because I was their original Winnie. I brought Winnie to to Beetle
Oh
House.
yeah.
And then they almost did this a couple times before where they kept trying to get other Winnies underneath me. And like, here's the thing, I don't own the character. I never will claim that I own them. But it's like, common decency says, hey, if someone is known for doing something in particular, they have a very specific act, like, don't try and recast them right under their nose, especially when they're the ones that are bringing a lot of people to you, so
Yeah.
yeah, so that
Ooh.
popped up again this year. Um, it was, yeah, I'll just leave it at that.
I have yet to go to the new location. It looks really cool, but
It's cool.
I don't know.
It's funny. I actually thought I'd enjoy it more. I miss the old location only because it was just more intimate and it was like, I don't know, it just felt more. It's kind of like when you go to Bayou and you're like, okay, no, this is not the Abbey, but there's just something homey and like comforting about it. So like
Yeah.
the old Beetle House was kind of like the Abbey in a way. I mean, like Bayou.
Yeah, and we were there pretty regularly, and there was kind of a rotating cast that we had STDs, we had Calypso Jete, Aluja was there
Mhm.
once.
Aluja, yeah, she hosted. It's funny, that was one of the times I remember Lyle called me. He's like, Alan, I'm sick. You're going on tonight. I'm like, yeah, I know I'm going on tonight. He's like, no, 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 no. Like you're hosting tonight. I'm like, I don't do Beetlejuice. What? And he was like, no, no, no. Well, you have to host as Winnie. Like someone has to host tonight. I'm like, I'm not ready. I host, but I don't know. I've never hosted there. He's like, fine, I'll have Aluja do it.
She's great. She's a professional.
Oh,
We
she's
Stan.
incredible. Oh my God. I need a full ass TV show from her.
She's iconic, and we have a song together. Go stream it because it's really good.
Yes, stream Jordan's music. I'm streaming Luja's music.
I have a puppy
Support
to
all
put
the
through
LA girlies
college.
that have not been. I was gonna say support all the LA girlies who have not been on Drag Race, please. The ones that have been, please support them as well. But like, let's remember the local girls.
Yeah, a lot of these local girls are out here doing basically the same quality or better content, and they're making it themselves.
And
They can't afford
better?
it. They
Oh my
can't
God, they're making
afford
better.
it.
They're making better content. Ooh,
Sometimes, well, I
sometimes
guess it's
yes.
all subjective, I guess, but
Yeah.
I'm so intrigued by the whole Winifred Sanderson of it all. Were you like as a kid obsessed with that movie? I was. I loved that
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah. You know, some people say, oh yeah, RuPaul was my inspiration, or Divine, and a lot of like older drag queens like Lady Bunny and stuff like that, or um, we're just like bigger divas or anything like that. For me, Bette Midler, when I saw her in Hocus Pocus, I was like, ooh, even though I didn't know what a drag queen was, for me, I was like, that is a drag queen. Just so over the top and so, just every movement, the delivery of everything. It's just because I'm also a theater kid, and it was the musicality in her performance, not just when she's singing, but just in everything that she does. It's very flamboyant, very over the top. Um, and also, who doesn't love Disney villains? And she's like, I know she's
Yeah.
not an animated Disney villain, but just like I don't know. Since I was a kid, I'd always be putting on, a t-shirt on as hair, and then putting on some green napkin as a dress and everything, and just like I would perform. I put a spell on you for, my family and neighbors, in the neighborhood and everything. And when I started to actually do her, I guess professionally, you can say, it's been such a full circle moment. Um, because like with me, like I yes, I do drag, but I specifically do characters. And when I do characters, I do ones that at least in my mind, I think I will do well acting wise. Um, Like there's so many looks that like I would love to do as other characters that I haven't yet, only because I'm like, oh, I don't know if I can act as them. I'm sure I could like lip sync a number to them, but like doing it live, like I want to make sure I can do the character live, you know?
Yeah, there's such a huge a market for impersonating like I think illusions. That's what they call it. Illusions.
Yeah.
That's something I've never really been good at. I've just kind of always been like, I'm just gonna like put some stuff on my face and I'm gonna be me, and that's just gonna be it. Frankenfurter was the
Well,
first time that they ever were like, hey, we need a character. I was like, okay.
Well, see, thing is for me, like even with Winnie, I don't ever do, or I never claim to be a Bette Midler impersonator. Like for me, Glenn Allen, he is he's Winnie, but also he's a Bette Midler impersonator. I don't do
Yeah.
Bette. I can do some of her mannerisms, um, but for me, any character that I do, I commit 100%, but then I do my own little, almost like cartoony spin on it, you know? So like that's what I actually kind of tell people sometimes that like if there's a character that you really want to attempt to do and you you go like, oh no, I'm no Chad Michaels, I can't do like a full-on impersonation of them. It's like, well, try it. Like you don't have to do like a beat for beat replica of them, but just like try it anyway. Put your own spin on it.
And you never know what could happen. You could be, I don't know, you could be at Beetlehouse.
Yeah. Yeah, you could.
You
You could.
could.
That could happen.
Yes.
Um,
Wow.
yeah,
Do
I'll
you
be
remember?
very honest with you.
Yeah.
I am so I'm so tired of Hocus Pocus right now. And that coming from me is
That's
that means
interesting.
something. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
trust me, I love it, but especially the last 2 years in particular, especially with the sequel coming out last year and the 30th anniversary this year. I've loved every moment, every opportunity, especially like, going to the Hocus Pocus 2 premiere last year, which was, meeting Bette Midler. It was absolutely incredible. It's just, lifelong dream come true. Um, and then being the official Winnie for Freeform this year was just again, cliche, but full circle moment. If I told myself as a kid that that would happen, like I would not believe it. But with that said, I am kind of tired only because it's so oversaturated. When I listened to the episode with you and Glitterous, also
Oh
thank you
my
for
God. We're
both
just
of you
ripping into
mentioning
all
me.
these horrible.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
like, no, I actually, it's
It's true
funny.
though.
When I was listening to it, I actually was snapping and I was like, I agree. Like there's again, I don't own Winnie, but also sometimes I feel like there's a lot of people who will jump on the bandwagon because it is popular, which I get. Like if you're mounting a drag show and you're trying to get people in, you're trying to sell tickets, get butts in the seats. I get it. You need to sell what's popular. And Hocus Pocus has been popular with the drag community long before I did it. My God, there's been so many other Winnies before me. Again, I would never claim that I am Winnie. I mean, hell, even Hocus Pocus 2, they had, cornbread in
Oh
it and
yeah.
ginger because even Disney's aware that Hocus Pocus has meant a lot to the queer community. Um, for me, I guess it's just a little like, oh God, there was nothing for so long. There wasn't an ounce of merchandise for 2 decades, and then all of a sudden, the last couple of years, they're like, let's just shove everything in everyone's face. Um,
Yeah.
I'm like
It's
that in
wild.
general, where if there's too much of a saturation of a good thing, um, I get either bored or I get like turned off. If people overhype something sometimes, I'm like, well, now I'm not interested. Like that happened with Hamilton. I was like, even before I got to
Girl.
see it, I was just like, God, I'm already tired of hearing about it.
I saw it. I saw the Disney plus the recording that they did, and I didn't like it.
I have yet to see it. Like I'm a musical theater boy, but like I saw the show live. I spent a ridiculous amount of money on the show, and I respect it for what it is. It's a very important piece of theater, just not for me. I prefer my more, you know, Disney-ish musical shows that like, more either poppy or just more like classic musical theater, like something from Hello Dolly all the way to Phantom and
Yeah.
Wicked. That is my musical.
Yeah. I love all that shit.
Or
To
Hadestown,
me,
like Hades,
oh my God.
Hadestown, like when we went to see it together, like that, like I'm obsessed with that show. Like
Wait, we didn't
it's
see
it's
that. Wait,
fresh
what did
and
we
new.
see? We
Was
saw
Hades? Oh, what? No, no,
Jamie.
it was the Jamie
Jamie.
show.
I wish I've
Yeah.
tried to get tickets to Hades Town. I couldn't. I
Oh,
was
you
very
didn't?
sad. I haven't
Mm.
seen Wicked either, and I feel so like
We
not
talked about that. I
gay.
cannot believe you have not seen Wicked.
I need to.
Um,
It's coming back
yeah, next year I'm
because of the
excited.
movie, I'm sure.
Right in time for the movie. Oh,
Of
the
course.
Pantages, because like I do events for the Pantages now, and their their PR person was like, "Hey, Alan, so what shows do you think are coming back next year?" And I'm like, or coming to the next season. And I'm like, I have no idea, but I will tell you one thing. I can bet you anything Wicked's gonna come back because Universal is gonna wanna like do crazy big promotions all over LA. And if they bring back Wicked next December, right when the movie is gonna be opening, just to make it a whole big thing, like I'm like, watch that happen. And of course it is. I was
This is my chance to finally see
yeah,
Wicked.
I
I
know.
read the
And
book.
my
The
girl,
book was great.
are you excited for the movie, even though you kind of haven't seen like have you seen like clips from the show? Like are you like familiar with like music and stuff?
I'm familiar with the music. I've read the book. I haven't seen like any bootlegs or anything because I've been every year I'm like this is the year that I see it and it just hasn't
Mhm.
happened. So
I
we'll
used to be a
see.
big bootleg collector because I think theater needs to be accessible to people. So if you ever need a bootleg, let me know. Like I'm one of those actors that is like, yay, bootlegs. Like please, like, if I don't have an official recording of myself, like please illegally record it, give it to me,
Oh yeah.
spread it around. So if you need one, let me know.
I used to watch the bootleg of Sweeney Todd with Angela Lansbury, but it was in like
Mm.
20 parts, the one that was on
Hmm.
YouTube. And
Oh
the
yeah, I remember
parts,
when everything was 5 to 10 minutes long.
yes, when you couldn't post more than a couple minutes, so they had to upload it in chunks.
Yeah, now they
That
got
was
like meme
crazy.
videos that go on for like 10 hours at a time.
Yeah, I put on 24-hour dog music for my dog so when I leave the house.
Wait, what's dog music?
It's like very calming, soothing, like sleep music, and he just like chills. I don't know what it does, but it like calms him down.
Okay, because in my head I was like, do you put on like 101 Dalmatians? I was like, what do you put on 101 Dalmatians or like, you know, Who Let the Dogs Out? I was
There's
like,
like
what dog music?
reggae for dogs. There's all kinds of dog programming on YouTube. It's like a whole
Okay.
niche. But oh my god, I was
Wait, can
gonna
that be my drag name? Reggae?
reggae.
Yeah,
How
can
would
that
you
be my
spell
drag
that?
name?
Reg gay. Or I guess reggae, but like
Yeah,
R
I
E G
guess.
G A Y.
Yeah, maybe add like a little like apostrophe to kind of make it sound French.
Yeah, but randomly in a place that makes no sense.
Yeah,
This
above the
we're onto
Y.
something. Yeah, above the Y, a little tchotchke. That's crazy.
Actually, if you had to give me a drag name, what would it be? Because like everyone always asks me, oh, especially like when I'm at drag con or like um
Oh,
a big drag event, they're always like, oh, you're so amazing. What's your drag name? I'm like, Alan the actor. I don't know. Because
I
I don't have my own
mean,
persona. So
I support people using their real names for drag.
I do too. Like for
So,
me,
I
like
mean, you
it's
could.
a part of your legacy and who you are. I mean, why not?
Yeah, I go by Jordan, and I mean,
Yeah.
luckily it's not super, it's pretty gender neutral in a way, so it's like it kind of is
Yeah.
fierce. But
It's funny.
I don't know.
There was one performance at I forgot if you were there. I don't remember if you were, but it was at Butyl House. It was one of the days that Melissa Joan Hart came to see our Halloween show. It was me, Joe Lopez, Aluja, Lyle, and Grant. And I think yeah. So I don't think you were there, but like I
No.
just remember like Melissa was asking us our names, and then I forgot who said it, but like we were all like, "Damn, we're all the girlies who are using just like our regular names. We have Lyle, Grant, Joe, but then like Aluja was the only one who was like, I'm Aluja.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I remember seeing pictures from that night. She seemed like she was really sweet.
she was really sweet. Yeah, I was like, oh, look, another witch.
That's the gag about working in Hollywood. You never know. You could
Yeah,
like you could step out there and be like, "Oh shit, that's so and so from whatever movie." Crazy.
that's why I always want to look good. Like, I don't have to look all like dressed up, but like anywhere I go out now, like even just like the grocery store, like Starbucks or whatever, like you're almost guaranteed to bump into someone who is either famous or someone, you went to school with or whatever. And I'm like, oof, yeah, I want to look good.
Yeah, I leave the house without eyebrows far too much. I need to stop doing that.
Yeah, but see, that's a conversation starter. They'll be like, "Oh, honey, are you?" are you okay? What happened?
And
And
be
you're like,
like,
I'm a drag
what?
queen.
I Whenever people ask me, I go, what happened? Where'd they go? And then people are like,
That is funny. It's funny, like, because like I normally wear a little bit of guy liner. Not today because this is just audio.
we're casual
Um,
Kelly today.
yeah. But like the rare amounts of times that recently I haven't, I like beat by beat, people would ask me like, "Are you okay? Are you sick?" Because they would see something's different, and something was off, and they couldn't tell what it was. It's just I wasn't wearing eyeliner, and they're like, "Alan, are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, just I'm not wearing eyeliner.
She's
I'm
just
fine."
fresh faced.
I've had,
Wow.
I've had so many guys um question me wearing eyeliner. Like and you know me, like I don't wear like a full face of makeup usually even. Which nothing wrong with that. But like, I just wear a little bit of eyeliner. And a bunch of guys that I've been with have questioned that and like been like, you wear eyeliner? Like, and it's like, damn, how insecure are you? Like,
It's just
shit, like really?
eyeliner.
Yeah.
Chill.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I can't. I was just thinking about I was thinking about Hamilton, and
Hmm.
I've said so many people get mad at me, but my thing with it is I don't think rapping is cool on Broadway.
It's when it's like almost the entire show, that kind of gets to
Yeah,
me.
it
Um,
feels corny.
Yeah. I mean, again, some people like it, and by all means, like 99% of my theater friends are obsessed with it. And again, amazing piece of theater and it's super important. Um, just, not something I necessarily want to go and listen to. I sometimes feel like a lot of art recently, especially even Disney movies, they'll try way too hard to try and be hip and current.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm one of those people that's like, sure, experiment, do some new things, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it, you know?
Same. That's how I felt about Hocus Pocus too. I was like, oh, of course they're
Oh
gonna
my
talk
God.
about social media and they're gonna do like the smartphones. It's gonna be very like cheesy. I don't know.
Yeah. I there's moments I like from it and I'm grateful that I have more content to lip sync to or sing
Yeah.
to. But Hocus Pocus 2 felt like an SNL parody of Hocus Pocus. Like it was self-aware in the wrong ways and just like it I don't know. Besides for like
Yeah.
the Walgreens scene and the scene with like cornbread and stuff, to me it was just cringy. Like I initially liked it because I'm like, ooh, I was in the hype of it all, and then I'm like, yeah, no, no.
I liked it better when I watched it back to back with one and two.
Mm,
Because the first time I saw Hocus Pocus 2, I was like, oh no. I mean, I expected it to be very, like, forced because they didn't
yeah.
plan to make a sequel. So usually those sequels are not good because
Well,
you're
especially
basically
29
doing
years
nothing.
later.
Yeah. And now the rumor is there's going to be a third.
Yeah, Disney's talking about it. I, I don't want a third one.
I'm good.
Like unless they give me like a prequel with like the young Sanderson sisters, because like the young girls in the beginning who played like the young Sandersons, I thought they were fabulous. If you
Oh,
give me
yeah.
that, I'd be fine with it. The newer cast, and also even like with Bet, Kathy, and Sarah, like as great as they were in some moments, in my head I was like, oof, like I don't know, the time has come and gone, you know,
Yeah, I think it's time to just move on unless they do an all new thing
like a
with new
reboot.
people. Yeah, and it's like a different story, but like in that universe, maybe.
Yeah,
There's
I'd be
ways
fine with a
around it.
reboot. I have no idea who I would cast. Um, hmm, that's actually something fun to think about. Like if they actually just completely recast it right now, like who would it be?
I don't know. I think about that with Tu Wong Fu all the time. If they did like a Tu Wong Fu
Ooh,
movie,
yeah.
I don't
Do you feel
know.
like they would, if they did Tu Wong Fu now, do you think they would like cast famous like Rue girls in the roles, or would they actually get like known actors?
I think they should
Like would they
cast
get like
drag
Tom Holland?
queens.
Like would they
Oh
cast
God.
Tom Holland as like
Well,
the
I
little the
mean,
little Latin queen?
I think that they need the girls to audition, and if these girls are like throwing their hat into the ring, like I can do this, and like, but you're not an actress. You don't know how to
Yeah.
act. So it doesn't matter that you can do drag if you're gonna be reading the lines.
Yeah,
stupid. Like you need to audition. So I would
yeah,
rather see somebody who is a better actor. Hopefully they're a drag queen also.
yeah. I
Like
agree.
Jinx
It's
Monsoon could easily do it.
Oh, 100%. Jinx and Dela and Ginger, like any of the queens who are, and even like Peaches. I know Peaches is not a Rue girl, but like any queen who is also a fabulous actor, I would love to see that. Um, and those are all th those have always been the queens that like I've always identified with and always loved. Even before any kind of personal relationships or connections with them. I love the queens who are just performers because that's not to make it about me because like, oh, that's what I am, but like I saw myself in a lot of them and they're the ones that inspired me, the ones that actually like are actors, you know?
Yeah, they get it. They went to theater
Yeah.
school. They were
Yeah.
yelled at and abused until they
Yeah.
cried. They know.
Yep.
Wait, did you go
Um,
to school for theater?
I grew up doing theater, both like local theater and also like in middle school and in high school. My high school was like an arts conservatory, where like most of our teachers were either like from the UK or have done Broadway and stuff like that. Um, I auditioned for a lot of like prestigious like acting schools like out of high school. I didn't get in because I didn't qualify for any like grants or anything because it was like right when the economy was like, you know, getting in the shitter and just in general like I don't want to like commit myself to all those loans and shit.
Holy shit, yeah.
So, it was just the timing wasn't right. So I was like, you know what? Like I'll go back eventually. Um, I'll take private acting classes. I was taking private acting classes for a while after high school. But then I started just working full time, trying to, raise money, earn money, and just be an adult. Um, but then right out of high school, I got an agent right away, and kind of the rest was history from there. Like I just started auditioning right away, and um, yeah, I just kind of just started from there. In a way, I sometimes feel like I skipped over a step because I've gotten to do so much more than some of my friends who went like to, UCLA, Carnegie Mellon, all these like big, great acting schools, which are amazing. I would kill to go there. Um, but at this point, like I've done a little bit more than a lot of my peers who I went to high school with. Um, you know like training is important. I feel like you can get really great training privately from like even like improv schools like Groundlings
Yeah.
or just like private coaches, or even just go see theater and watch movies. Like there's other, especially if you want to be an actor, there's other ways to train besides like putting yourself $30,000 a year in debt, in my opinion.
It's crazy. I mean, I went to a junior college and I got what I feel was a really great education. It was like
Hmm.
you get to school at 8 a.m., you do an acting class for 3 hours, you go to singing class for an hour, you go to dance class for 2 hours, you go to rehearsal for the show,
Yeah.
repeat. Like it was just
That's
intense.
that's how my high school was. That's why we called it kind of like a conservatory. Like almost all that we did was just performing arts. Plus, just some like general ed thrown in as well. But yeah,
It's it's true. Like a lot of people think they go to college and they go, "Oh, great. So I survived college. Where's my job?" It doesn't
yeah,
work like that,
and not
baby
just with acting. That's
Gorge.
just that's every career. I mean, people
Yeah.
get these like diplomas and stuff, and then they try and go get a job, and then the jobs are like, well, you need certain amount of years for you need 3 years of experience. It's like, well, how can I have 3 years of experience if I haven't done it yet? Like someone has to give me the opportunity.
Yeah. And they don't
It's like,
teach
what
like
what
the
was this piece
hustle,
of paper for?
period. And they make you think that when you graduate, you're just gonna like step right into a job making tons of money.
Yeah,
Not everybody does.
yeah. And I mean, you do need your regular jobs, even if it's not necessarily, you know, um, part of, what you're passionate about. Like right out of high school, I started doing concierge and customer service at car dealerships. I mean, I'm also a car guy, but beyond that, like I wasn't always, I kind of just became that way because, you gotta survive and you gotta figure out other jobs. I was
Oh
so
yeah.
so naive right out of high school, so fucking cocky, where I like when I see like my old Facebook posts of like, oh God, I'm so tired of my job. Like I can't wait to be a famous actor. It's just all this stuff. Um, give me 1 second.
Yes. Oh my god. I'm gonna describe what I'm seeing. Alan has a lot of artwork on his walls. There's like um
Sorry.
Wizard of Oz
Um,
stuff. I'm describing
mhm.
your room to people.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I have a big Wizard of Oz, what is it, tapestry, and then I'm self-obsessed, so I have
Oh,
that's
that's
Lumiere up there
you.
as me. Um, yeah, and then me as a baby.
Oh, so
I'm a very
cute.
I'm a very nostalgic person. What was I
Wow.
saying? Oh yeah, no. So my my old Facebook post of me, being in my very like, especially at the time, I was 18 years old. Like I had a decently paid job at a Mercedes dealership, and I was just like, oh God, I'm so tired of this. I can't wait to be auditioning and just acting and just living the life. And I'm like, I look back and I'm like, boy, shut the fuck up. Like,
You don't have
appreciate
any
that you have a job.
bills.
Yeah, like appreciate you have a job. Like you're like making money right now. Like ain't nobody gonna be famous right away unless like you're very lucky by going, from going viral or something like that, or have like really great connections. Like you're not gonna get shit. Like shut up.
Yeah. Just make a sex tape. It works usually.
I know. I should have done that at 18. Maybe I would have gotten something done with my life.
Yeah.
No, it's funny. I've
I
never,
think
I've
about
never
it.
thought about, I've never thought about it. Have you thought about that?
I mean, I assume everybody thinks about it. I guess not,
Yeah.
though. Ooh.
Uh-huh.
I
Give
don't
me.
know. Beautiful.
Oh, just everyone wants me. Like everyone keeps interrupting me.
Everyone wants
Um,
you.
yeah.
It's
I
because
wish
you
I could say
mentioned a
that
sex
better.
tape.
I know, right? Um, what was I gonna say? Oh, wait, so you have considered a tape before
I
or like
mean,
OnlyFans?
I've thought if I ever did, it would. I mean, I think it would be fierce, but I don't know. I'm also
Mhm.
that person where I'm like, oh, I could produce it this way, I could light it this way, and it would be. But like, no, it's not like I don't. I understand the amount of work that goes into it because a lot of my friends do it, and they're like,
Yeah,
oh, you you literally are fucking like for hours every day.
yeah. I used to really not understand that, and like I'm very open about saying that. Like I used to almost kind of like sneer at it, like oh God, you do porn, blah blah blah. Like back when I was just a little bit more um, naive with that. But as I started to have more friends who are in the industry, and just like really see what goes into it, don't be shaming people for what they do. I mean, they're trying to make a buck, as we all are. But also like there's just so much work that goes into it. It's just like with like regular acting, it's not as glamorous as people make it out to be.
No, bitch, you want to be at that set for 12 to 14 hours to work for like 10 minutes
Yeah.
in that stupid outfit, just hurry up and wait. People don't get it. Like you're there forever. The hours are long.
Yeah.
It's
And
crazy.
hopefully that's not the only thing that's long, but hey,
You never know.
yeah.
But I mean, maybe they feed you though sometimes, right? Most of the time there's food.
Yeah, no, like it can be either really great or really bad, but beggars can be choosers. The movie that I just did um earlier this year, the food was incredible. Oh my God, like just like the 3 days that I was on set, like just all types of different fish and steak and everything. And they were like even, and it wasn't just like the main actors, like even like background was like really getting really amazing food, which is like as it should be, you know.
Yeah,
They
that's
can
so
afford it.
weird that
I mean, that's
places
why
just
with
don't
like
feed.
what's going on with the strike right now, it's like, yeah, I mean, but that's the thing though, so many studios kind of don't care. They won't feel well and they won't pay you well. That's the whole point of the strike right now. That,
Oh yeah.
actors need to be treated well.
Oh my god, we've approached the halfway point already. Can you believe that?
Oh my God, I like, and damn, you haven't bought me dinner yet? Look at that.
Not yet. It's because here on my
No.
set we don't have craft services, bitch.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna have, okay, Jordan, I'm gonna have to hang up. I'm gonna have to call my agent.
Okay.
I don't know why she books me on these chicken shit gigs.
Well, you take your Bob Mackie headpiece and you
Uh,
call your agent, And we'll be right back with more with Allen
Okay.
Waiserman. Woo-hoo! Don't go anywhere. Hi there, and welcome to this guided meditation. I want you to start with a deep breath. Inhale and exhale. As you continue breathing, I want you to imagine any negative feeling you have as a fruit in the refrigerator. You open the refrigerator, see the fruit, and close the refrigerator. You wait several seconds and reopen the refrigerator, hoping the fruit will be gone, but it's still there. You repeat this process over and over, with each negative feeling, each a different fruit. Each time you reopen the refrigerator, you realize the fruit never left because you never moved it. You just closed the refrigerator and reopened it, expecting to see something different without actually doing any of the work. And then you spiral out of control and realize that the only way for you to find true happiness is to rate and review this podcast. So go ahead, make yourself happy. Give this podcast a 5-star rating and a gorgeous review. Now back to the show. And just like that, we're back. Wow.
We're back again.
Yes. Alan, we were just briefly touching on the strike. Are you a SAG member? Are you allowed to talk about this?
Well, anyone's allowed to talk about it. I actually, it's a funny story actually. I'm actually technically non-union, or SAG eligible rather. Which
Oh.
is yeah. So it's I'll get into it. I never get into this. Um, so I've done a lot of SAG projects before. Watch, this podcast is gonna be the reason that like SAG's gonna be knocking on my door. Um, no, so yeah, so I've done a bunch of SAG projects, Nickelodeon and Showtime, and I was on a Verizon slash Amazon show for 3 seasons. But I'm still non-union. Um, I was even tapped hard lead on a project, which means like when a non-union project becomes union, um, they're legally supposed to do this like contract that like um, I guess they like this was years ago, but like if I'm remembering correctly, it just means that like you have to get it signed so that your non-union actors can still be in the union project, and then they send it off, and then it can make your non-union actors union. But either way, like this basically something along the line got lost. Um, and I've even like talked to some people who used to work at SAG, and they've kind of just been like, shh, like just it is what it is. Something got lost. And even my agents have been like, hey, you can kind of double dip right now. So until SAG literally knocks on my door and says, hey, you have to join now, which is called a must join, I've kind of been able to audition for both union and non-union. Um, I wish I was union for the biggest reason being that just so there will be protections. Because the kid show that I just did, I did my kid show, Yippee Yay. It was
Yeah.
non-union. Um, and I'm super grateful for the project. It was my first thing that I've done where I was completely leading the project and, was the main character and, hosting it, blah, 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 all of that. But it was non-union, which means that there was definitely a lot of things that happened on set and also behind the scenes that if it was a union project, if I was with SAG, I could talk to my agent or talk to the SAG reps and be like, hey, this is how I was treated, with the food, or they made me dress up in a porta potty, like very unglamorous shit, and also like very like shady shit that like non-union can get away with versus SAG, even though you have to pay dues every year, it's legitimate at least, they do protect you. So that's why I'm like, oh yeah, I can. kind of double dip right now, but at the same time, I do kind of wish I was in SAG. Yeah,
Wow. Well, that's
but we'll
showbiz,
get well,
baby.
yeah. But listen, no, but I'm grateful for everything I've done regardless. Because in the end, also it is just yes, it's good bragging rights, but it is bragging rights, and it hasn't like if I was in SAG right now, not much would change with my career, you know? Like I have friends who have been part of SAG for 15 years and they haven't had an audition or done a project in 15 years, so no, being in the union doesn't necessarily mean, oh, you're going to get the work, you know?
Yeah,
So
you
much
gotta
more
go
goes
get
into
it.
that. Yep.
You gotta hustle.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But no, I've been supporting everything involving the strike. I've gone picketed a couple times. There's been a couple of things that I'll have people hate on me for this, but there was some stuff with the strike I didn't necessarily fully agree with. Um, it's funny, some of it actually did involve Hocus Pocus. I know, back to that topic.
Uh-oh.
Um, well, only because, like, for me, like, listen, I get it. Maybe, like, we shouldn't be promoting stuff from, like, recent struck projects like Barbie and Oppenheimer and, you know, newer things that are just coming out. Hocus Pocus and then all the Disney stuff that I do, they're 30 plus year old movies that like I'm also a live performer. I don't just do TV and film. I do also live performing. And like while my heart breaks for actors who only do TV and film and don't have work right now, like taking that away from like taking away the live performances and like the impersonations and tribute acts that I do away from me also just doesn't seem right. It's like, oh well, if we can't act, none of us can, which like I get it, that's solidarity. Um, but also it is different. Like it's on like I've been on different contracts with the live performances that I've been doing.
Yeah.
It's kind of like you're not going to go to the Disneyland workers and get mad at them for still portraying Disney characters. It's like, well, they're doing their job. Or same thing with Broadway. They're on a different contract. Um, yeah, so there's been a couple of things that have popped up where I'm like, okay, come on, can I please still make some money with my livelihood when it comes to acting? Like, come on.
Yeah. It's different. And now, I mean, now they're like, you guys can't wear costumes for
I know,
Halloween that are like,
I
it
know.
was a whole thing.
And like
But
I don't agree with that. I'm 99% of what SAG is for with the strike. I'm 100% for it. Like I'm very much in solidarity. I 100% agree with everything in terms of, the protections against AI and proper, payments for the actors with residuals and everything. I 100% am all for that. But like I personally think the whole like Halloween thing was just really pushing it because it's like we're already dealing with so much fucking bullshit in this world right now with like wars and pandemics and all this shit. And we literally did not have Halloween for like 2+ years because of COVID. It's like, are you really going to tell these poor actors who are already like suffering right now? Are you really going to tell them that like don't dress up as your favorite character? Like, the studios are not going to care. Like, let people go live their lives and just like have fun just doing whatever characters they want to do one night of the year. Like, just stop. I don't
I
know.
agree.
That's what I think.
You know what I think? I
Hmm.
think I have to ask you about something very specific
Okay.
and very interesting.
Okay.
Um,
Do it.
in my research, well, I mean, I
Oh.
already kind of like I know you, so like there's a lot of the stuff that I
So
found
you
that I
have
already
you
know.
have found my OnlyFans. Okay.
Yes, yes. No, I want to ask about your experience with Jeanette McCurdy and Ariana Grande playing the role of
Oh,
Weirdo, because the
uh,
glam alone, the look
girl, you
you.
did not need to do much research for that. You fucking know.
I mean, I knew
Yeah,
before because I think we probably talked about it,
I'm
but
sure.
I
Also,
mean,
I've posted about it.
how does one go about being cast for that role, that specific role?
Yeah.
It's so
Um,
funny.
yeah, it was, I mean, that was my first like very big project. Like I did like because it was I think a year or two out of high school. And I had already done a couple like commercials and stuff and was auditioning for a while. And my first agent, she just submitted me for a part. I knew that it was for Nickelodeon. I knew it was for a new show called Sam and Cat. Um, at the time, you know, my I was already out of the demographic that watched Nickelodeon. I still liked my old shows and stuff. Um, but I had no idea who Ariana Grande was. I knew she was a little bit on, I knew she was on Victorious and stuff like that. And obviously I knew Jenna McCurdy was, she was on iCarly and stuff, but like I didn't know this other new show, didn't know any of the other new shows. And I was just like, cool, finally, I've been wanting to audition for Nickelodeon my whole life. Um, and yeah, I just auditioned for it. It was this like Where's Waldo clown type character. And very much fit it because I'm a slapsticky character actor, and I was much bigger at the time, which is what they also kind of wanted for the role. Um, I think I was like 50 plus pounds heavier, 50, 60 pounds heavier. Um, but yeah, it was
Wow.
fun. My agent submitted me for it and I got it. And it was is a really amazing experience being on that set. Um, it's funny, there was a lot of people leading into me starting filming, um, mostly other girls, but like there was a lot of people who were like, "Ooh, watch out for Ariana. Ooh, like so and so might be a bitch on set." And me being like a newer actor at the time, I was like, "Oh, okay. Like, why are you telling me this? Like, I can I like form my own opinions?" Um, but like it just shows you how like toxic and jealous the community of actors can
Yeah.
be sometimes. I got on set and everyone was amazing. Except for a certain individual, but I'll get into that.
Wait, you have
Uh,
to wait, you have to tell me after because I'm
oh yeah.
nosy.
Oh no, I'll
I
tell
need to
you
know.
on here. I'll tell you on here. Damn,
Oh,
let
okay.
it be known.
Well,
He's no longer on Nickelodeon. I'll talk about it, and it's been public. It doesn't matter.
oh.
I've just never talked about it. It's about Dan Schneider. Um,
Oh,
you know,
yes. Oh my God,
yeah,
that guy.
yeah.
I didn't know he was
So
involved with that.
yeah, well, that Sam and Cat was one of his shows. Um, But yeah, no, everyone was lovely.
Wow.
The like my biggest thing with Ariana when she was on set that like I guess people like I guess one thing that I can see where people would maybe like raise an eyebrow with her is she would cuss a lot on set. She would be like singing and vocalizing and like she'd be like doing fuck that. Like she would like be vocalizing and then adding in like cuss words and shit. And I thought it was funny. We're literally the same age, so like we were fine. Like people my age were fine with that. But like I remember on set they'd be like, "Hey, Ari, there's our background actors, a lot of them are underage and stuff like let's be professional and stuff." I thought it was hilarious.
I
Because
love that.
she's an Italian girl from New York. Like of course she's gonna have like, she's gonna be bigger than life and just like super sassy. Um, but she was like, I don't know, she was super sweet. So was Jeanette. Jeanette in particular was just like, just like so down to earth and like low key. There was like a bunch of like cute conversations we would have in the green room. And they were just very accepting of me. Like I was not that big of a character and I was like just there for like technically like one episode, but I was involved multiple times for like the video game and commercials and other stuff involving the special they were doing. It was called Spot It. It was like a multi show thing they were doing. Gotta spot it.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
but yeah,
Cute.
because like the Thundermans also did it, but they had like you like every episode you had to like find something within the episode. On Sam and Cat specifically, they had me as the almost like gesture character. And then they also had me in the like online spin-off, almost you can say. Um, but yeah, no, they were all like super sweet. And like I remember with Ariana, we would talk about like anti-bullying and stuff like that. So like anytime I've seen like people talk about like, oh, she's so this, she's so that, I'm like, listen, like no one's perfect, but like I know for a fact that like she's just like a sweet person. Like she might have butt heads with Jeanette at one point, like after the show or whatever. Or maybe there was things I never saw that like, that's their personal thing. I had a great experience with both of them. There was one point, like my biggest favorite memory with Ariana that I really, really loved. Because this was 2013, 2014, I forgot when, but it was around the time her first album was coming out. Um, and I was staying at the studio pretty late one night, and they had me on the green screen doing like some special effects stuff. And she was like running out of the like studio barn doors because she was like about to miss a flight to Canada to promote something. And she was just like, "Bye guys, bye, bye." That's my Ariana.
Wow, that was great.
Yeah, thank you guys. Oh. I like him.
Oh my God,
Um,
Snatch Game. She's
yeah,
ready.
right. Oh my God, maybe shit. Maybe I've always thought about like who can I do on Snatch Game? I guess I could do Ariana.
I
No.
mean, you can't do it any
Um,
worse than it's been done. So,
Yeah, but no, so she was running out and like she didn't have to say bye to me. Like I was she's the star of the show. She's Ariana Grande. She didn't have to say shit to me. She was just kind of like waving at everyone, "Hey, bye everyone, bye." And she ran out the studio and I continued doing my green screen stuff. Like 2 minutes later, she runs back in, she throws herself at me and was just like, "Oh my God, thank you so much. Like you were so amazing. I forgot to say bye. Like it was so great working with you. I hope we'll still work with you in the future." Like she didn't have to like come running back to say bye to me. Like she's Ariana Grande. She could have just like left and I would have been like, thank you, I was in your presence. But she was just a
huh.
sweetheart.
That's so sweet.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And then like I bumped into Jeanette like a couple more times at like some like Hollywood parties a couple years after that. And like, I unfortunately I heard her and Ariana, we're no longer friends and stuff like that. Um, Knowing now, though, it's because of everything Jeanette was going through. I didn't fully read her book yet, but the book that she released talking about her like, toxic experience with Nickelodeon and with her, with her mom and everything, like it just broke my heart because like, I never saw, and I'm sure a lot of people didn't see, that like really tragic and really sad side to her life. Because like she, for me, like she was just such a bubbly and like very sweet, very low key, but very like sweet person. So it breaks my heart that like, she's one of the people that like not just Nickelodeon, but just, that the industry has hurt so much.
Yeah.
There has not been enough protections for child actors. Like I know we were talking about the strike. I feel like there needs to be more protections for child actors. And there are, there's on-set teachers and all this stuff, but there needs to be more protections um, against abuse within studios. You know, um, no, I did not experience a lot of the stuff that has come out about Dan Schneider. Um, what I did experience though was that he was a very, very mean person on set. He would yell at all the PAs. He would yell at, just everyone the second that things weren't going the way he wanted them to go. Um, he would just yell at like everyone on set, like the whole cast. And just like you could tell, like when the second he would go on set, um, and again, it's his show, but like he would go on set and just like you could feel everyone's assholes just pucker up because they were just nervous that he was on set. And in my mind at the time, it was my first big project. I didn't think anything of it. I just thought, ooh, the big executives here. Um, I thought, oh, that's Hollywood for you. Um,
Yeah.
but like I think that's why we had such a big issue in Hollywood for so long is because kind of everyone went, oh, well, that's Hollywood for you. Like the whole Weinstein thing that happened, and the whole Me Too movement. I'm happy that it's been coming out and there has been a change in Hollywood, at least a little bit. Obviously it'll take some time for it to get really better, but we got to start somewhere.
It's true. And you know what? If Fran Drescher is a big fan of the podcast, and if she hasn't turned it
Is
off
she?
by yet,
Oh
maybe
shit.
if she hasn't turned
Fran,
it
I'm
off
I'm sorry. I'm
already,
sorry that I've been doing all the Fran, I'm sorry I've been doing all the hocus pocus stuff.
you know
Uh,
she turned this shit off as soon as
I have
you
no idea.
started.
I was totally kidding. Hocus pocus me? No, never. Oh no, I did nothing all Halloween season long. Sorry.
Alan pays his union dues, and he
Get
doesn't.
me in it first. Damn.
Yeah. Allegedly, yeah, she's a big fan of the pod. That's also probably a lie, but I'm very curious.
You a liar?
Me lying?
Jordan? A liar?
I mean, I tell people I'm a woman for work, so
I
that
still
should tell
believe
you.
that. You're a
I
great.
mean,
Here's the thing, you're a liar, but you're a great liar. I believe that.
I mean that's all acting is, just lying.
Yeah. Yeah, and
I'm
that's why we get along because we're such good actors. We pretend we
we
like
just
each other.
lie. We just lie about everything.
Yeah.
I I know you do a lot of really crazy like characters and cosplay and looks and things. Is your closet just like overflowing? How do you keep everything together?
God, this is gonna sound so privileged, and it is. I have a whole extra spare bedroom that's just costumes and wigs.
Fierce.
I'm very grateful for it. My sister, who also does like some costume stuff, we share it. Um, And so yeah, it's just a whole room of costumes. Because like more than just like you know, the drag and character impersonations, I've also worked for different character companies, which I know you've seen them.
Oh, the
But you know,
birthday
I've worked
party
for
people.
yeah, I've worked for like multiple like princess parties as different characters. Some of the costumes has been theirs, and some of them have been my own. Um, so that's also why I have as many as I do. And then some of them is just because I just like impersonating characters, not even necessarily always for like a professional gig, you know, because I love to cosplay as well. Um, you know, just it brings me joy because like, you know, I grew up doing theater, but then my focus has been on TV and on camera stuff. But what I miss about theater is that I could always do characters that bigger than life characters, very over the top. Versus with TV and film stuff, you know, because I have a baby face and I look so young, I still almost always only audition for like teenagers and teenage boys and stuff like that, which like I'm grateful for, but honestly, no fun in that. You know, I'd rather be Mrs. Doubtfire. You know, I'd rather be,
Yeah.
the older. I'd rather, yes, dearie. I'd rather be the old bags with the hanging saddlebags of tits, dear.
Oh my God. Do
You
you
know,
watch Drag Race
that's what I would
UK?
rather do. I have okay, yes and no. I haven't caught up international seasons only because like I got so over Drag Race. Not over it, just like it just was so oversaturated
Oh
that
my
like I need a
God.
break. You know.
Well, there's this season of Drag Race UK on the Snatch Game. Somebody
Mhm.
did Mrs. Doubtfire.
Shut. Okay, see, now I guess I can't do it. Ah, if
Well,
I ever go.
just watch it and you'll.
Okay, wait. So did they question? Because for the longest time, everyone would ask me, like, Alan, who would you do on Snatch Game? And my number one answer has always been Mrs. Doubtfire, or rather, not Mrs. Doubtfire. I would do Robin Williams as Mrs.
Yes.
Doubtfire because you can't technically do copyrighted characters, but you can do the actors. So with the season, because I haven't seen it yet, did they do Robin Williams or did they do Mrs. Doubtfire?
They were Robin Williams as Mrs. Doubtfire.
God damn, they took my thing. No, but hey, I guess I'll have to do it too someday. No,
It
that's a lie.
I mean, you just have to you should just watch it and then you
Watch
can
it. Okay.
form your own
Judge it from
opinion.
there.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I've said that that's what I would do. I don't think I'm ever going to be on Drag Race. Like, I've had so many people be like, "Oh my God, you should go. You should go." I have no interest. I've been offered so many different reality shows. Like, I was re offered 2 seasons of The Circle on Netflix. I said no to that.
Not the
I just
circle?
No, and I've talked to a producer recently about America's Got Talent, which I'm considering. But again, I just don't have interest in reality TV. Like, especially because I've
Oh.
talked to so many like Drag Race girls that I'm friends with who, I know it's done a lot for their career, but also, we both have seen how sometimes they can spin and edit reality TV. And obviously, keep yourself in line. Obviously, they won't edit you in a negative way, but like, I don't know, the whole Big Brother-esque, um, or Big Brother-esque rather, vibe of reality shows where they're watching every move you make like a hawk. Like I've just never been interested in that. And also because with Drag
Wow.
Race in particular, I would never do it only because as much as I love the drag community and Drag Race, and being in drag, you know, you know, not to say I'm not a full-fledged drag queen, but like I want to see Drag Race reserved for people who are that is their bread and butter and that is their full career and that is just what they live and breathe, Um, that's why I won't name names, but sometimes oh no, I don't want to get myself canceled.
Do it. I mean,
I was
nobody's
gonna say so
listening. It's fine.
that's
It's
true. Well, you
fine.
never know. Maybe listen, Jordan, 20 years from now, this episode's going to be discovered and they're going to be like, Alan said what?
I
Oh,
said, what about
no. I
buttholes?
I I'm I'm sometimes in my feelings about social media queens, which in a funny way, I know I kind of am. Um,
Oh,
but like,
yeah.
you know what I mean? Like I I like seeing the queens who pay their dues in an old school kind of way in terms of, doing the tip spots and, having a drag family and, doing all the different shows at Mary's and Rocco's and everything. Like I like seeing local queens get on Drag Race. If all you do is know how to take pictures for Instagram, not saying that's not drag, because here's the thing. All drag is valid, 100%. My drag is valid. Your drag is valid. Sometimes, Jordan. Yours is
Sometimes I was gonna
questionable.
say, are you
Yours is
sure?
questionable. Questionable.
Eh.
I mean, that's why you're doing this podcast, right?
That's
I
why we're
mean,
here on this
yeah,
audio
that's
only program.
because listen, this audio version of drag is just as valid.
It's
Um,
valid.
but all drag is valid, but I don't know. For me, a drag queen is a performer, and if all you do is take pictures, that to me is not performing. It can be performance art, sure, but like I don't know. I like seeing performers, and I think that's who should be on Drag Race, and that's why sometimes I do. My heart breaks for so many of our local girls sometimes that do get upset that yet again they didn't get on, yet again they didn't get on, and then people who are on the show are people who weren't really appreciative of the opportunity, you know. Um, and I don't know, it just breaks my heart seeing incredible girls who are local sometimes feel like there's not much they can do with their career because they're not on Drag Race. Like Diana Jacketoff, like I love her to
Oh
death, and
yeah.
I know she's retired since then, but I remember this one conversation we had one time where she she shared with me that like she was upset that she wasn't on Drag Race, and I know she's kind of doesn't care as much anymore. But like the fact that that even gets in the minds of not just her, but like so many queens, who think that Drag Race is the thing that's going to make your career, or make or break your career. Yes, it is the biggest platform. I get that, but I still think you can have a um, very rich career in drag or any kind of performing. Um, you know, not necessarily on Drag Race or on TV, but you can still have a really rich career. Um, and I guess my biggest example sometimes is like look at someone like the older queens who haven't been on Drag Race yet, um, like Sherry Vine and Peaches Christ and all these like legacy queens, I guess we can say,
Yeah, like
who,
Bible Girl.
yeah, exactly.
These older,
Exactly.
old queens who
Very old
never.
queen.
I'm just
Very old
kidding.
queen.
Bible Girl, we love you.
She actually invented
She
drag race.
invented drag. She invented quitting drag. She wins every season of
Hmm.
RuPaul's Drag Race.
Yeah.
It's Bible Girl, friend of the pod.
Yeah. But yeah, no, those queens, they found their niche. They know what they're good at, and they create art. And that's why, Jordan, that's why I've been proud of what you do. Like
Oh, thank you.
you do all the local shows, and you work your ass off on gigs. I know you've told me you'll do like long distance gigs as well. But like also you're finding, where you fit into the whole drag mix with like your interviews, with your podcast. Like I'd love to see more girls do that because like you help make a name for yourself in your own way. You're not sitting waiting for the RuPaul fairy to come down and take you to the ball, you know?
Yeah, just like have fun, do your thing, enjoy
Yeah,
yourself. It's not that
yeah.
serious.
It's not. It's just
Wow,
drag.
it's just drag. Can you believe we've
Yeah.
approached the end of our program?
No, I want to keep talking.
I know, me
You got
too.
me, you got me, you got me hooked on podcasts. This was fun.
Podcasts are so fun, especially this one because it's like, I don't know, we don't talk about
Because
anything.
no one listens to them.
Because no one listens. Wow. Will you tell the people of the internet where they can find you?
Girl, I will. Oh, you mean like right now?
Yeah, mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
you
If you
can
could.
find me. Yeah, I guess if you want to find me, you can find me on Instagram and TikTok at Allen Waiserman. That's ALLENWAISERMAN. I know it's a mouthful because I love a good mouthful.
Mm.
Um, maybe I do need a drag name because it's a lot, isn't it?
I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know. It could be. I think
No,
it's
it's not
cute.
that. It's not that long. It's just the right size. It's not how long my name is. It's how I use it.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Yeah, but I post everything on there from my drag stuff, my cosplay stuff, my personal stuff, and also upcoming gigs that I have, which are not that often. But hey, when I do post, you'll see it there.
Period. You
Yeah.
can follow the podcast at Hey Girl Pod on Instagram. That's HEYGURLPOD. You can email the podcast at hairgirlpod@gmail.com. You can call the podcast at 424-431-1456. Send me some voicemails to use in future episodes. You can follow me at Jordan Jayro everywhere. That's JordanJayro. Let's see, what else? What else is there? I'm currently taking a break from my mental health to focus on my social media, so if you could follow me, that would be great. All of our information will be linked down below. So we did it. Don't forget to rate and review the podcast and give me 5 stars and write something really nice. What else? I think I nailed it. I think I got it all done.
I think you did. I think we both did. This was
Yeah.
fun. Thank you for having me.
We ate that. Thank you for doing this, and I hope to see you
course.
soon.
Yes, let's do something in person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to get
Especially
out more.
because we can both work on our mental health together.
Yeah, we could just spiral.
Yeah, or we can spiral together. That works too. That works too.
Wow.
I need a good spiraling buddy.
I'm down. And all of you who are listening, thank you so much for listening. Allen Waiserman, thank you for your time. Thank you for chatting.
Of course, thank you for having me, Jordan.
Anytime. Thank you all so much for listening once again. And until next time, have a fabulous life. Bye-bye. Bye.
We did it!
We did it. We did it.